Hey guys, here we are again analyzing the kayak stroke. We're here in the back view of two different paddlers. I'm going to play it so we can watch it for a second. Good. I'm going to rewind a little bit so that we can look at paddler number one here. At her setup on this side, she's going down to the catch right here. Really what I'm focusing on is if she ever gets to a 90 degree. So this angle is what we're talking about. I like what I see here. I think that her hand is in a very good position. It creates a great positive angle. We can see this beautiful vertical blade. She's going to be able to lift herself up off of that catch by pressing on the water, rotating past. It's great. On this side, she does not have as much of a 90-degree angle. It's very interesting it's very interesting how some paddlers will have different angles when over here on the other side it was basically a 90. So she has more of a tendency to leave her left hand away from her head throughout the stroke. So when we look at her entering the water, she is not vertical, and she's not on the blade as much, and you can actually see her boat rocking away because she's not loaded up on that paddle. Yeah. So that is paddler number one. We're going to look over here at paddler number two. Going to play in slow motion. So just like how paddler number one has had some irregularities from side to side, so does paddler two. What I want to point out is right here. This great, a little less than 90 degrees, but this is great. It's a really good, powerful position. She keeps it mostly in order to keep a vertical blade. I would rather more vertical though. She's a bit horizontal right there. I'd rather see her vertical, more on top of the blade. You can kind of see her boat is leaning away from her paddle right now and stays leaning away until she exits and drives her leg. And you can also see her body kind of wriggling away from the stroke as she goes down instead of loading on top of it. On this side, right here, it looks like she's going to keep this small angle of 90 degrees or less, but instead she leaves it pretty open. So that's what I meant about how there's irregularities. There's one side that's usually 90, one side that's a little more obtuse. This is the obtuse side. So I would want to see her arm more inward right there, and then she would be able to have way more power on that blade. She would be able to be way more vertical. Right now she's very horizontal. I would want her to see her top hand in that placement where that red line is, so that she could have a vertical blade like that instead of where she's at. Then she would be able to move the boat much more powerfully. Yeah, there's so many other good things that are happening with these paddlers, but right now I was just focusing on that back arm, that top arm, and keeping it inwards below 90 degrees or at 90 degrees. One way you're going to do that is cueing your athlete to keep their hand in front of their face as they go down to the catch, practicing going from the setup to the catch, making sure they're loading up on the blade.